So you guys ready to cook?
Yes.
Watch me cook. So who here has cooked whole food plant-based so far? Yes. Are you guys using no oil or oil added? No oil?
No oil.
Using no oil? Awesome. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay. So you guys want to open up to the recipe and your report and we can go through it. So I've got, so there's, my portion, it starts with this plate here, and we'll go over that in a little bit. And then on the back there's the food groups and examples of some, and then the next pages are the recipe. So we're going to do a Moroccan chickpea and sweet potato stew. Yeah. Does that sound exciting? So lots of spices. And then we're also going to do a tofu sour cream. Have you guys had tofu sour cream before? It's kind of cool, yeah. And then a banana oatmeal cookie. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Excited? So, this is really going well right here. Okay, so the list of spices, we got paprika, we got cumin, coriander, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, we got salt and pepper. So those are gonna go in first, and we're gonna kind of like wake them up. Have you guys done that before? So these are all dried spices, so when we put them into the pot, the heat and the water combined, we're not using oil, to kind of wake them up and get the spices ready to go, mixed with everything else in the stew. So these are my spices. Really beautiful. Lots of antioxidants. And we're gonna add just a little bit of water first. Okay, so we're gonna put the spices in. And mix those guys around. And it's kind of like forming like a little paste. So they're not fresh spices, so this is like kind of like a process that's making them come alive and more vibrant, more tasty. Yeah. So we're gonna go a little lower. Okay, so we've got these spices in there. Pretty small? Yeah? Yeah? No? Come up here. Let's get a whiff of this. Okay, so I'm gonna put the onions in. So I just diced onions. This is like a yellow onion. That's what I did. But you can use whatever onion you want, but I'm doing yellow, right? Kind of like that. So that's a cup and a half. And then it also wants garlic at this time too. So I've got 3 garlic cloves, and I'm gonna use. Working this out. I'm gonna use this cool garlic press. You guys use the garlic press? You don't have to like set it on the chopping board and chop it up. So you just put it in here and smash it. So easy. A lot easier for the cooking than too. Step 2, we added the onions and garlics, and I'm gonna put those together for a little bit and add a little bit more water. So you just keep adding water if things are sticking. So we're replacing oil kind of like 1 for 1. Okay, so you can use vegetable stock or vegetable broth, or you can use like wine or beer or something like that. So, and using like a vegetable stock or a vegetable broth is just gonna add like more flavor to whatever you're cooking, right? So you can replace that in this recipe, the water for vegetable stock or broth or whatever. So get those going. All right, and so let's put the sweet potatoes in too. So sweet potatoes. This is what I got. I got the really bright orange sweet potatoes. Is it this?
You have the skin.
And I put the skin. I left the skin on. Yeah. I just wash the outside, and then left the skin on. Yeah, I just cut them up, diced them into small little dice sizes. Kept the skin on because the skin has fiber and nutrients. So you basically, wasting your money if you're paying for the whole thing and then you take the skin off. So a lot of the recipes that I do, or if I'm just eating a whole sweet potato, I eat the skin too. Yeah. So this all melds together. Stir through, cover, and cook for about 7 to 8 minutes, stirring occasionally. Just stirring so that stuff doesn't stick, and check it out if you need to add more water or broth or something like that, you can. So that's 7 to 8 minutes, and then we're gonna add the diced tomatoes and the broth. So let me bring this down a little bit. So we're gonna move on to the diced tomatoes. So I went to Whole Foods for most of my ingredients, actually all of them. So I got, let me mention this guy. The stock that I just used is Engine 2 brand. Does anybody use that one? This is exclusive to Whole Foods. So you can't get it everywhere, but Engine 2 plant strong, and the stock is really nice. It's low sodium if you want to do low sodium. So it's lower in sodium than most other broths or stocks and stuff. So this is a good option. I'm using diced tomatoes, 365. This is their brand, Whole Foods brand, and it's no salt added. So if you're going low sodium, trying to look at prevent hypertension or get your blood pressure down, these are good options. Okay, so we're on. I put in the diced tomatoes, and I'm gonna add the broth. So I'm gonna use this vegetable broth again, the Engine 2. And this is I'm just gonna bring to a boil. This guy right here. So after that comes to a boil, then we put in chickpeas. Who loves chickpeas? They're so versatile, right? Yeah, so what I got was the 365 organic garbanzo beans. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans, same thing. So you could rinse them if you wanted to decrease the sodium, because there is sodium in here. Most of the canned beans have sodium, but some actually do not. There's a whole line called Eden that does not have sodium added to their beans. And Whole Foods also has a small box of garbanzo beans that has no salt added. So if you're just mindful of sodium again, you do that, or rinse them very well, and then you'll cut down on the sodium. Yeah, so for this I just drained them because that's what the recipe said, so I don't want to confuse you guys. But if I was doing this at home, I'd probably just put the whole thing in. So you can change that on your recipe if you want to. Okay, so we drained and rinsed the chickpeas, and then we're gonna simmer this for 25-30 minutes, and should be done. And then at the end, we're gonna stir in 3 cups of spinach. You can do as much as you want, and you could change this part too. If you wanted to, you could do like kale, yeah, or another green. You could do collard greens or chard or something like that. So any different green that wilts really easily, you could do that. So time lapse. This is 25 minutes. We're gonna add I'm just gonna do this is 3 cups, and you can add as much as you want or as little as you want. But really, what I'm gonna get to next, we're gonna talk about the food groups and kind of this plate, which is the previous 2 pages in your handout, and just the different components. And so spinach would be a non-starchy vegetable. So you're just gonna wilt this right at the end, the last 2 minutes when it's cooking, right? Or you could also cook the whole thing and leave the spinach out, and then when you serve it, later on when you serve it, you can just add the spinach right at the end. Because it's really nice, if you see, can you see? It's really beautiful with all of the colors right now, the orange and the red and the green all together. And when the spinach kind of sits for a little bit, it starts to change color and it's not as vibrant. So it's really pretty just to add it right at the end and wilt it and then eat it. Right? Cool. So, how's it going so far? Yeah? Am I doing okay? Yeah. Cool. All right, so this is basically done. So I'm going to take this and just cover. It's kind of, I don't want to waste all this, so it's going to keep cooking. So we're going to move on to the tofu sour cream. Tofu sour cream. Next page. So I'm going to use my Vitamix for this, but but you can use any high-speed powered blender, a bullet or another blender, and the ingredients are, doesn't need like superpower, but it's nice to really whip it up so it gets that texture of sour cream. So yeah, this is really, really easy. Do you see the ingredients? So the ingredients are just tofu, lemon juice, and red wine vinegar. So this is the tofu I'm using. Has anybody made this before?
Yeah.
Sour cream? Yeah. No, you haven't? Okay. Anybody at all made this? It's called silken tofu, and the style is extra firm.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So,
It's small
can
enough.
you see this? Very interesting in there. So I'm just gonna let me put this in first. So then lemon juice and vinegar. So it's just a tablespoon of each of those. So this, I've got this, the cutest, tiniest bowl in the world. And this is a tablespoon. Yeah, isn't it cute? So that's a tablespoon of lemon. Okay, and then a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I really like this one. This one, I don't know if you see it. Napa Valley aged red wine vinegar, and they have really good balsamic vinegars too. Are you ready for the magic? So basically, like, we're gonna make the dish now, so I can show you what all this looks like together. Okay, so, yeah. And then garnish. So we're gonna garnish with sour cream. And then I have some cilantro and lemon. So this is what sour cream looks like. Looks like sour cream, huh? And then some cilantro. And then a little bit of lemon on top. Instagram shot. Okay. These are really, really easy cookies. So, overripe bananas, that's really key. So there's more sugar in there. So, we're trying to make a cookie without any refined sugars and even like maple syrup or honey or anything like that. So just using plants, that's it. So all the sugar is going to come from these. And they're surprisingly really good, right? Yeah, so this is really all you do. So I got overripe bananas, which these are not necessarily overripe, right? If they're overripe, they're all brown and brown and brown, super brown. But this is all you get. So just imagine these are overripe. So overripe bananas and then a cup of instant 1 minute oats, which when I went to Whole Foods, I got organic quick oats. So they're a little bit more like processed, you know. So those are gonna like mesh with the banana more, and then when they come out as a cookie, it's not too chewy. But I've done them with regular oats too, and they've tasted really good too. So it just depends on how you like your cookie, if you like it more chewy or not. Alright, so on this recipe, there are just the bananas and the oats. But then you can add other stuff if you want. So on my ingredient list, it includes walnuts, almonds, and pecans, but And most of the work that we do with John and here at Tanner Care and NuSci and for Lily Green Forest, we don't include nuts because of the fat content. But if you're okay with nuts, it could be a healthy fat for you if you need. But just flaxseed, chia seed, also same thing. So for today, we're just going to do bananas and we're going to do cinnamon and vanilla. And the actual product that you're going to have later when we go out and eat, it's going to be a little bit different. The recipe is a little bit different. So like the texture and taste is going to be a little bit different. I think the one that we have out there is two different ones. One with like a lot of cinnamon and then one that has also strawberries in it. So, but they're very similar.
Are the cranberries fresh or are they dehydrated?
Dehydrated. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you could do cinnamon, pumpkin spice, you could do cardamom, anything your heart desires. And then vanilla extract or almond extract, you can add coconut extract, something like that. So this is all it is. So you're gonna get your hands dirty on this one, or you can mash it with like some kind of like potato masher, but every time I do it, I just use my hands. That's why I asked John to give me lots of paper towels. So you just mash it together. And it's easier to do this process when they're overripe, because they're more, right, more soft.
Could you add like pumpkin puree into it, or would it change?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's what's fun about cooking and baking is that you can just do whatever, really. But a teaspoon of vanilla, and then maybe like a half teaspoon of cinnamon, give or take, whatever you like. So this is gonna be all mashed up, and then when I when I put it onto, when I'm ready to put it into the oven, I use a Silpat or a silicone baking sheet. So have you guys seen this before? This is really handy when we're not doing oil for baking or we don't want stuff to stick on our baking sheet. So I put the baking sheet and then I put this on top, and then I'm gonna dole out my cookies using my melon baller. This is not like completely mashed up because that was like taking forever. But I use my other favorite thing, melon baller, and just stick it right on the Silpat like that. So either parchment paper or really the baking sheet is really my favorite thing because baking sheet, you can wash this and then use it again. So it's reusable time and time again. So with whatever you're gonna do, with roast potatoes or roast vegetables, do cookies, anything, right? Cool. So that's basically it. So I'm doing one more time. This is my melon baller. And just, or you can pat them out, or you can just use, if you don't have a melon baller, you can just use a tablespoon, like a regular spoon that you eat soup with, right? So that's it. Yeah, and you do bake 350 for about 13 to 15 minutes. And yeah, any questions on that?
How integrated do you need the oats with the banana?
There are going to be more, so let me show you. This is basically it. Whether we have the cinnamon and the vanilla in there or not, this is basically it. We're fully integrated.
Okay.
So this is the texture. Okay, any more questions?
How many cookies can you get out of that?
So it's about 10 to 12, depending on like how you shape them, right? So usually when I do it with my melon baller, 12. Yeah. Do you anybody want to come up and stick their hands in the banana? It's fun. You guys are missing out. Okay. So let me just describe really quick. Flip back, and so there's a circle. This is what your plate should be looking like at each meal. And this is designed after the USDA My Plate, but whole food plant-based instead. So let me get that in here. So the color's a little bit off on mine. I don't know about yours, but I have a little intro, and basically this is a whole food plant-based plate. And we have non-starchy vegetables, like half of the plate. We have whole grains and starchy vegetables, a fourth of the plate, and then legumes, which are beans, peas, lentils, and whole soy, on another fourth. And then you have some whole fruit as like a dessert or snack, or you can incorporate that into the plate if you like. Put it with the vegetables. And then for a beverage, it's water, alternative milks, coffee or tea. So that's just a little info about at each meal what your plate should look like. Each meal. Breakfast, try as hard as you can. Sometimes we incorporate vegetables, and you can do it. But usually in a standard American diet, like a Western diet, we don't include a lot of vegetables. Maybe if we do like a scramble, we could do a tofu scramble instead of like the standard egg, scramble or omelet or something like that. But as much as possible, make every meal look like this, just so your day is complete. You're getting all the nutrients you need. You're getting all of the macronutrients, carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Yeah. So on the
whole grain and starchy vegetable list,
mhm.
I know everything on here except freekeh. I've never heard of
I
that.
know. I put that kind of right at the end. I had actually one of my participants in the Tanner Care program bring me a bag of it, and she was like, "I've never heard of this before," and I tried it, and it was great. She gave me a recipe and stuff, and
So it's a grain?
yeah, it's a grain. Yeah, I think it's from what I looked it up really briefly, but it's a type of wheat. Yeah. So I looked up different soups and stews and different whole grains that you can incorporate with them, and that was one of them. Somebody had made this freekeh. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. but- Freekeh. Yeah, it's kind of down at the bottom of the middle portion that's orange. Yeah, so yeah, that's an option. So the first list is supposed to be, the colors are a little bit off, guys. I was trying to make the colors match with the plate. But, so the first one's like pink, red kind of color. So these are beans, peas, and lentils. These are just different options that you can put in your super stew. The whole grains and starchy vegetables are in the middle. So that would be white potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, like we have here. And lots of different other options. Non-starchy vegetables, we're doing spinach. There's lots of other stuff. We have spinach, we have tomatoes, we have garlic. So with this stew that I just did, it's incorporating these three food groups on the back. So it's really nice and easy way to get like everything you need in one pot, and you just take this with you to work, or you're at home feeding your kids. You can freeze it, you can thaw it out and use it later. So we have, from the beans and peas and lentils group, we have garbanzo beans or chickpeas in our stew. And then we have sweet potatoes from whole grains for starchy vegetables, so it's a starchy vegetable. And then we have spinach. So we got all of it combined in one. If you have like an apple for dessert, then ready to go. Glass of water, and you're done. Yeah. Any questions?
So on the sea vegetables, you would get some iodine.
You could get iodine from sea vegetables, yeah. What do you think about that? No? Yeah, okay. Yeah, iodine is a necessary nutrient, mineral. Yeah. Any other questions? What do you want, Simon?
I think the food is ready. Are you
Right.
ready to release people?
Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'll be walking around. If you want to come up and take pictures of anything, check out anything, also you're welcome. So, thank you guys so much for coming. Hope you enjoy the food.